Alright guys, I have, I think, a new main, the LAMZU Maya review. It is here, and this mouse might also be here to stay for me. It's incredible. It's definitely goated. Now, I think it's worth mentioning my stats: 18 centimeters in length, 10 centimeters in width. I prefer fingertip and claw grip hybrid, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing tracking with my arm, which I generally will try to do, what I end up doing is I end up sucking the mouse into my palm, and I maintain the like more strict claw grip, and I use my arm. And when it comes to like fine-tuning aiming, I'm going to want to use my fingertips more and a combination of wrists. So like there's a lot of movement with my fingertips basically. And so the reason I'm holding the Starlight-12 is because this has been my current main. And so like anybody looking to join the mouse journey, it's all a quest for the perfect shape. And to find the perfect shape, we iterate from shape to shape. And so I'm saying this because I think it's worth mentioning what my issues are with this shape that I've been on for 4 years. I can't seem to get off of, and what do I love about it, and what am I trying to solve? So firstly, what I'm trying to solve is the grip stability. So it's like a really big one. It's all stability really, grip stability and tracking stability are like the two big ones for me. So with this mouse, as you can see on the sides, the grip is narrow, which I love. It's my favorite things about this mouse. But a big issue for me is that with the honeycomb structure, as well as the fact that there's no sloping on the sides, it's very flat. As soon as I'm moving my fingertips a lot, I lose stability, and I like slide around a bit because it's hard to grip onto the honeycombs. And I don't want to use grip tape because I want to maintain the integrity of what I love, which is the narrow grip width. So with all of that said, I just have this like really big problem. And when I go into, let's say, more tracking mode, where I'm going to suck the mouse in and like lock the hand and so on, I have to bring my fingers in like quite a lot, as you can see, depending on what I'm doing. And so that creates even more of a stability issue with the grip. So lots of problems there that I'm trying to solve for an otherwise like really awesome feeling mouse. I love it's just so much control with it. So this mouse, I get a lot of similar control because with the LAMZU Maya, because the grip width is quite narrow, as you can see. However, the coating of the mouse, we don't have the honeycomb for one thing, but the coating of the mouse is actually really awesome. So I've not even thought about needing grip tape at all on this mouse. It feels very grippy. And then on top of that, there's a slight slant that goes inwards on this mouse to the sides, so that you can kind of get your fingers under the mouse. And if you're a claw grip player, and I really wouldn't recommend this as a palm mouse because it's small as well, but this I think is a great mouse for fingertip and claw players. Yeah, you can really get your fingertips under the mouse essentially and kind of like pull it in so it feels more stable. Also, my trade-off is that I don't get as much range of motion when I'm moving my fingers forward and backward in fingertip movements. But when I kind of pull it back, it does get stopped by my palm a little bit sooner. So there's that lack of range of motion, but there's more stability. And I feel like I don't actually lose very much, because I was finding with the Starlight-12, having all of this like fingertip movement with it actually created more problems than actually help, than benefits. So that's a trade-off that I'm willing to make. And again, like what I've noticed, and I think I noticed this first with the G Pro X, I really wanted to like be able to use this mouse, but it's just too large. But in trying to use this mouse, what I noticed in the way that it made more contact with my hand, because it's a much larger mouse overall, is it created so much more stability for tracking. So then this became something that I was searching for. And so I found that with this mouse, the dimensions of the shape actually really are quite suitable for that. Now, when it comes to, I guess like a good competitor for this, I think, we would be thinking about the Razer Viper Mini. Now, the Signature Edition would be a more comparable weight. It's like 49 grams, I think, whereas this version with the wired version of this Viper Mini is going to be 60 grams. The dimensions are essentially the same. There's 1 millimeter of difference on the height of the Mini Viper, the Viper Mini, compared to the Maya. But it's really about, of course, how the shape feels. And I know this has been a question for a lot of people, is the comparison between these two shapes. And I generally feel like the shape on the Maya is just better for me, and it's partly because there's a bit more freedom in terms of fingertip placement. So when it comes to this mouse, at the back of the mouse, you do get that slight curve outwards, but towards the front of the mouse, it actually stays relatively the same as the grip width, actually. So that actually allows you to have more kind of flexibility with where you might want to kind of have your grip in your fingers. What I found with the Razer Viper Mini is that you get a bit more curvature towards the outer, like upper end of the mouse. So what this does is it kind of forces your fingers to want to be like, obviously, like in more certain spots. So you're going to want to be more like around here. And if you want a fingertip grip a little bit further up, it's not going to feel as comfortable because the width of the mouse starts to increase. And so that's what I really like about this mouse. The other thing that I've noticed as well, and it's kind of hard to measure it, but the LAMZU Maya also has the booty kind of comes out a little bit more. Like this slant off of from the top of the hump towards the back of the mouse is less aggressive. So you get more of a kind of contact at the back of your palm, I would say, because it's not actually just like falling off immediately at the back. And that's another slight difference I've noticed. But otherwise, they are quite similar in size. So the Maya for me has really, I think, solved a lot of these problems in stability that I've had personally. And again, as I mentioned, tracking and has been an issue with me with stability for that Starlight-12. So this has been, so far in all my testing, it's felt really, really comfortable. I'm very excited to explore different options in terms of different frictions and so on. I've been using the SkyPad predominantly for a very long time, and I love this pad. I think it's amazing. The only thing I really want to change is potentially the feel of the friction, and there's various different ways to do that. Someone did mention to me like sticking on plastic feet, and there's probably some other options as well that you could do to change the friction here. But anyway, like the stock feet are so good, I don't want to touch it right now. I think this is just great as it is. So with that said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this Maya review. I hope that it was in some way informative for your purchasing choice. And if you have one, if you are looking to get one, leave me a comment. I'd love to see what you guys are thinking and saying about all of this. And if you want to see more kind of reviews like this from me, please let me know. This is the first one. I hope I did okay, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.